everybody? It's Michael here, back with another video. I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday season the same as I am. And in this video, I will be going over my 2024 reading recap along with my 2025 reading goals. A few highs, few lows, few moments of not being motivated to read, but we made it through. And I'm proud for how far I've came. And I'm also excited to see how far I will go. And if you've been following me or seen a few of my other videos, I'm sure I mentioned in almost every video that this past year, 2024 is my first full year reading, like back reading, staying consistent, or just getting back into, the thick of things in terms of in the reading world and stuff. And I'm thankful for the highs and the lows and everything, but let's get started, shall we? So for my 2024 recap, my first one I have is I read 20 books. And at the beginning of the year, I think I expected to read more than 20, but just how my schedule was going, or how just everything, a part of that was not motivated to read a few books, or just, all in all, I'm proud of the 20 books that I've read this year. And I plan to take that up a level going into next year. But yeah, I read 20 books this year, so I am proud of that. The second thing of my 2024 recap is I started a YouTube channel. At the beginning of 2024, I didn't have that in my plans. But honestly, I couldn't necessarily talk to the homies about the books that I was reading because they're not reading the same book. So, they'll just be staring at me, listening to what I'm saying. But I started this YouTube channel just so I can talk with a certain community, maybe people who read the same things I'm reading, or so where I could get ideas to read new books, just like to join a community that I did not have within my friend group already. So I'm pretty proud of that. Like I said, I did not have that in my sights for 2024, but now that I'm here, I'm here. But yeah, I enjoy doing this at this point. I want to get better at it, but I enjoy doing this and talking to a specific community about the books that I'm reading, and about potential books that I'm going to read, and just all the above. So that was number 2 for my 2024 recap. Number 3 is I fell in love with sci-fi, the genre in its whole. But me I love a good TV show. So I always like science fiction TV shows, but the actual books, it opened my eyes to new things. And I especially like the books to where I'm not big on science, or I'm not like a science guru, but I appreciate those books that that isn't a prerequisite for reading the book to be a science guru. I like a good science fiction book that makes me feel included as someone who is not savvy in science. So, if a good science fiction book, I would say The Martian is a good example. How there's a lot of, if you've read The Martian, there's a lot, the plot of the book and everything. There were things that's very understandable to me, being as someone who's not an environmentalist, a big science guy, and I was still, got through that book with no problem, no issue. So that, I would say, is I was very appreciative of that. I believe that's Andy Weir. So yeah, I plan on still taking it to the next level in the next year with science fiction. And but one thing I will say is half of these science fiction books that a lot of TV shows are based out of, in my opinion, the TV show doesn't also often live up to the hype, but maybe I'm looking at it through the wrong lens. But yeah, I would say in 2024, I absolutely fell in love with science fiction, the genre as a whole. I always loved the TV shows, like I said, but the books, to start off the year, I forgot what genre was it. It wasn't science fiction, but once I started the science fiction genre, I ran through the year and I stayed in that genre basically, so to cap out the year. So Yeah, this is by far my favorite genre to read. As of 2024, it is. And last but not least, this is kind of like a disclaimer or whatever you want to call it. For I read my first Stephen King book, which was Misery. This is the only one that I've read so far by Stephen King, but I believe it needs its own, you know, thing to where something that I'm proud of, something that I included it in the video. It's opened my eyes to just a different author, basically. And so I see the hype behind Stephen King. I understand why he has his own section in Barnes and Noble. So that's pretty crazy to me. I don't think any other author has that. Well, I mean, part of it is because he's written so many books, but I mean, he's good for a reason. But yeah, Misery by Stephen King. I've read my first Stephen King book. I believe the hype at this point. And that is it for my 2024 recap. Like I said at the beginning of the video, lots of highs, lots of lows, lots of unexpecteds, lots of all over the place in terms of schedule and stuff, but I plan to be better in 2025. And speaking of 2025, I have my 2025 reading goals. And number one is to read 30 books. We're going to up it from 20 because I still feel like I could have read more than 20 if I just stick to a specific maybe schedule, or sometimes when I'm not doing nothing or just scrolling on my Instagram or Twitter, I could be reading something. So I know I could read more than 20, but I'm still proud that I read 20 in 2024. But in 2025, my goal is to read 30. Now, if I exceed that goal, it is what it is. That's, good for me. But I think I would feel some type of way if I fall short of that goal. So, and at first when I was like writing this up, or when I was really thinking, I was thinking like 50 books in 1 year, but because there's like 52 weeks in a year and I can read a book a week, so, and I'm just trying to be a little realistic here. So I think 30 books is a realistic goal of mine. And I think I'm going to do like a halfway, maybe like mid 2025 in the summer. I'm going to maybe do a goal update, but I think 30 books is an obtainable goal of mine. So I'm excited for 2025 and to see how that pans out. And moving on to the next goal, at number 2 I have is develop a reading schedule. In 2024, or just, even 2023 too, I read when I guess I felt like it or I had time to, but in 2025, I will do that too, but part of that I also want to make time to read, set aside time to read. So I believe that is also another attainable goal because like I said, at times when I'm scrolling or just doing nothing, I could be reading. So I believe that I could do that, at least devote 30 minutes to an hour a day to reading a certain novel or my favorite book or, whatever I'm reading at the time. I think that's a very doable thing. So I don't think that's pretty far-fetched or too much to ask of myself. And I think I will do that actually. Moving on to my next goal for 2025, I have complete my first trilogy. I started one this past year, which was Wool. And it's on Apple TV right now, the show Silo. I started it. I started Wool, which is the first book to the trilogy. But I have yet to complete a single trilogy. Granted, that is the only trilogy that I started. And on my TBR, I use on Goodreads. On my TBR, I have a few trilogies in my TBR. Oh, I'm sorry. I started the 3-Body Problem. I started that as well. So right there, I have 2 separate series that I have started. And in 2025, a very attainable goal of mine is to complete these trilogies. I really want to do it in the first quarter of 2025, but we'll see how that goes. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. And sometimes I feel like if I read 3 straight books of the same, maybe same story, same author, I might get burnt out or something. So I like to maybe read a book by this author or in this particular story, maybe venture off to something else, come back to it. Similar to like how TV shows do season 1, season 2, and season 3, like they wait a year or 2 in between. So I kind of want to do that, but nevertheless, the goal for 2025 is to complete. Well, now my goal is to complete both trilogies. So I've already started them. I'm almost finished with Three Body Problem. I'm about 90% through with that book. I've already saw the show on Netflix. Yeah, in 2025, we are doing trilogies and completing trilogies, and which is, again, very obtainable. I'm not writing goals that are far-fetched, so pretty much all of my goals, I believe, are obtainable. So moving on to my next 2025 reading goal is dive more into thriller and suspense genre, dating back to Stephen King. He's probably going to be the main culprit of my diving into this genre. I mean, y'all consider it horror, or I consider it thriller and suspense, but I'm going to read more Stephen King books this year. I could have added that to one of my goals, is to read like 3 Stephen King books, but if I'm going to read thriller and suspense, it's most likely going to be by Stephen King. So I would like to dive into that genre because I don't want to get stuck on science fiction. I don't want to oversaturate myself with, science fiction books. Even though I love the genre, I just don't want to be one-dimensional, basically, a one-dimensional reader. And I know everyone has their, their thing, their lane, but I want to be a diverse reader. But, if it's a good author, it's a good author. So Stephen King is one of them. So because of him, I will be diving into more thriller and suspense books. So again, another obtainable goal in 2025. My next goal is to join a book club, and not a virtual one, because Goodreads has a lot of, them available. Join a book club was actually one of my 2024 goals. That was part of a low of 2024, something I did not accomplish, I would say. But, and it's because I didn't search hard enough. So this upcoming year, 2025, I'm gonna search harder for a book club that fits what I am looking for. And a part of my 2025 goal is to also find out what exactly I'm looking for, because like I said, in 2024, I have almost been all over the place in terms of genres. Like I said, when I found science fiction, I stayed in there and then I did that, but I didn't start the year reading science fiction. So I also just want to curate my lane to what I like to read and what I like most, and to what I want to talk about most, and find a book club that fits that need or that want, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm gonna search high and low for this said book club. And for my last goal of 2025, my last reading goal, I could call it a reading goal, but it's more of a content goal, is to post more videos more frequently. Again, if you've been following me, or if you've subscribed, or if you stumbled upon my videos, you'll see that I'm kind of sporadic. I would like a set schedule to where I post. I guess since I like doing this more, I almost want to put my money where my mouth is. So if I like doing it, why can't I do it more? So life happens. My schedule gets, all over the place. I have a son who needs me a lot, and so sometimes it prevents me from maybe, recording and doing all type of things that you guys you already know this, but I want to do more of this. So I need to do more of this by, sitting in front of this camera, recording more and posting more. I did not do enough of that. I didn't do nearly enough of that in 2024, although I wanted to. And so some days, you know, even if I don't feel like it, or if just I'm too busy, that would be the reason why I didn't. And I've gotten tips on how to, you know, post more, you know, do more videos and things. So I will definitely be taking those into consideration, into account, and putting my best foot forward in towards this content creation in 2025. So all of my goals that I have written down and said to you guys, I believe I will obtain. Not I believe I will obtain, I will do all of these. I will accomplish all of these because I believe in speaking things into existence and manifesting those things. So it's not a matter of if it happens, it's when it happens. So if you sat through this whole video, or let alone subscribed, liked, shared, any of that in 2024 as a whole, I appreciate you more than you know. I plan on taking this to a new level in 2025, and I am appreciative of everyone, any and anyone who is here to witness this ride with me. So I will keep trying to go up in 2025, and, you know, just add on to things that I built as a reader and get better. Oh, I would also like to get better as a book reviewer. I would like to get more in depth. So basically, all in all, 2024 was a eye-opening year in this space, in my reading space. And so just, I know all these things that I want to get better at, and I believe I will. So, but 2025, I will definitely be better at giving better reviews and better recommendations, because I like what I did appreciate as a person who was, who looks at videos on YouTube BookTube. I appreciate a good review and a good recommendation. So I try to be transparent enough to give what I receive in terms of these book reviews and book recommendations. So I'm always open to feedback, criticism, constructive criticism, anything. So I appreciate you guys for watching my video and videos and future videos. So peace.